Now we go to the next section. In this section, we will begin our journey with the very basics of web development. We will discuss about HTML. Whether we are designing a website or developing a web application, a firm knowledge of HTML is indispensable to give our application a proper backbone to work on. HTML gives scaffolding or a building foundation, if you will, for our application. Our discussion will be a hands-on approach. It is easier to learn the concepts of any language by actually doing it. So let us begin. Before we go on to the actual coding, let's first clear up some of the concepts that we will use. First, what really is HTML? HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. It allows us to mark up the plain text into something else. This provides structure to our web pages. HTML is a technology that allows us to specify the structure of the visual elements, sometimes referred to as a user interface of a web application. An HTML is just a text file with extension HTML or HTML. Here is a basic HTML file content looks like. This is called an HTML boilerplate. It contains the minimum. HTML boilerplate defines the basic form of HTML document. It contains the minimum elements of HTML file to be considered a correct format. We will discuss more about boilerplate when we do an actual example. As we mentioned, HTML is just a text file, so a file containing the following text will actually be rendered by the browser as follows. A text that we want to browser to render is called the content. Content is the data we want the browser to render. Another type of text we will be seeing in HTML document is the HTML tag. Tags are marked by enclosing it inside pointed brackets. Tags normally comes in pairs, an opening tag consisting of an opening bracket and the tag name, and a closing bracket. The closing tag consisting of an opening bracket, the slash character followed by the tag name followed by the closing bracket. The normal format of an HTML document is opening tag, content, closing tag. With the tags on, the browser will now be able to render the HTML file correctly. Comments. Comments are text notes added to the program to provide explanatory information about the source code. They are used in programming language to document the program and remind programmers of what tricky things they just did with the code, and also helps the later generation in understanding the maintenance of the code. In HTML, we declare a comment by enclosing it with this tag. Okay, I don't know how to read it, but that's the tag for comments in HTML. The last thing to discuss before we do an actual coding is the DOM. Okay. DOM stands for Document Object Model. The DOM is programming interface for HTML. It defines the logical structure of documents and the way documents is accessed and manipulated. The DOM is a way to represent a web page in a structural hierarchical way so that it will become easier for programmers and users to glide through the document. With DOM, we can easily access and manipulate tags, IDs, classes, attributes, or elements of an HTML using commands or methods provided by document object method. Using DOM, the JavaScript gets access to HTML as well as the CSS of the web page and can also add behavior to HTML elements. So basically, document object model is an API that represents and interacts with HTML or XML documents. The DOM is indispensable if we want to access and locate elements when we are displaying or styling or scripting the HTML document. With that background, we should now be ready for an actual demonstration of creating HTML documents. So let us get started.